Okay. Are we live? I think we're live, people. Everybody, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 here, and welcome to the Ubuntu Unity Open Chat. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more live streams just like this, then smash that like button, ring-a-ding that notification bell, and support my channel. Thank you. Anyway, we will be starting momentarily with the open chat, but like usual, everybody, gotta do that house cleaning. Anyway, a few announcements that I want to make. First and foremost, people, just a reminder, the Gen 2 installation live stream is coming up in a few weeks, so keep a lookout for that. Either the day before that stream or maybe 48 hours before that, meaning 2 days before that live stream, me and Ben will be making some advanced measures to get ready for that stream. This way that stream doesn't go on and on and on and on. So keep a lookout for that stream. Also, Edo Pro Duel Night is tomorrow night at 5 p.m. So keep a lookout for that. Outdoors live stream is happening on May 28th, 5 p.m. That one will be pretty much a solo by myself one, because it'll be a live stream from my mobile, from my cell phone, and cell phone functionality does not do so well with open chat, so an open chat can't happen from mobile. So the outdoors live stream will be me outside talking about a topic, me just walking around. I used to do these outdoor live streams long time ago. It's just I haven't had the time to do them, at least until now. So May 28th, 5 p.m. will be an outdoors live stream with yours truly. You'll all be able to say what you want in the live chat section as we're all going over the main topic, which I have no main topic planned yet for that outdoors live stream. Okay, now as for what's going to happen in June, this is where I think Ben might get a little excited with this. I have already decided the June live installation. Took me some thinking. And for June, I, at long last, am going to be delving into a Linux distro that I've never have tested before. I mean, you all have seen me test Peppermint, Arch, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Ubuntu Mate, a whole bunch of them. This is one distro that I've never tested at all in the history of me doing Linux content on my channel. And like I said, Benny boy, you're going to be excited when you hear this. The June live installation, KDE Neon. KDE Neon is going to be for June. So that will be for June. And then for July's live installation, you've seen me and Benny Boy tackle this with Surge in the past. Well, in July, we're coming back to it. Because in July, we're going back to Slackware. That's right, folks. I will be doing a live Slackware installation in July, which, by the way, is Benny Boy's birthday month. And what's going to be different, folks, about Slackware this time is I will not be the only one installing this thing. Oh, no. I'm going to be teaching Benny Boy how to install Slackware. So, he basically how it went, folks, is he's been wanting me to teach him how to use Slackware for a while now. Well, as of next month, I'm going to be teaching him how to install Slackware. So keep a lookout for that, because it's going to be one bumpy ride for the July installation. So that's the 2 installations you will have to look forward to. As for what else is to come, this Thursday will be the 2 uploads that I said I was going to do last week, but I got caught up in other stuff. The newly updated low and high power modes of the Orichalcos challenge will be going up Thursday. I finished updating the decks. Now I just got to record them. Now, another thing I wanted to bring you all's attention is, well, I've been doing a little cleaning in my room, and I don't know if you all can see behind me over here. Does anybody recognize that computer just sitting all the way there yonder? I know you do. I have moved my main YouTube production machine into my room. And right beside it is a little TV that is now a secondary monitor for it. Now, I did have Peppermint on this machine, but now I got it running Endeavor OS XFCE, which works marvelous. So you guys are going to be getting a tour of my Linux setup for 2023 in the coming weeks, as soon as I get it all finished. Anywho, the 5 minutes has officially expired. It's time to open up the floodgates, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to open up the form. If you all want to email me for an invite, email me at ricky.clay@gmail.com, and I will personally send you an invite. So there we go. And now I wait for participants. All right, 1 for Brian. And 1 for Benny Boy. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right, now we just wait for participants, and then we will get started. I'll give everybody an additional 3 minutes, and then we'll get started. Well, it looks like you're first.
Yep. By the way, I got a question for you.
Yes, I paid $500 for Fairy Box today. Yeah. By the way, Brian, I didn't catch you earlier because I was really tied up.
I kind of figured that.
So tell you what. So tell you what we can. What we can do is, if I have some time set for tomorrow, then me and you will watch the movie.
That works. That works.
Okay, now I'm just waiting for Ben to get in here. I don't see anybody else
As of yet.
as of yet. It'll most likely be us just be us
Just the three of
free.
us?
It might be just us free tonight. I don't know.
Oh, God. Beat the third Trails of Cold Steel 3. The third Trails game, and oh my God, I am so pissed.
Oh, did the game make you mad again?
Not the way you would think.
Let me get. Was it a certain scene in the game, or something close to it?
I'll explain when I go through my scenario.
Ah,
It's the way it ended that irked me.
okay.
Because
There
I
you are,
beat it.
Brian.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
pretty good.
Okay,
So, Ricky, you said you wanted to get me back on Slackware, huh?
well, what got me thinking of it is I rewatched the last time we both installed it with Surge back in 2019, and I figured that since Slackware 15 came out not long ago, I figured why not both of us just run through a live installation in July of it.
That'll work. That can be your gift to me for my birthday.
Wait,
Well,
Surge. Well, does that mean you've already installed Brock and Misty?
Oh my God.
What the frick?
Dude, when do you quit setting me up for these?
Oh my Lord, good Pokemon pun, Brian.
That was a very good Pokemon reference.
Okay,
I mean, he's got to quit setting me up for these.
I know. Anyway, well, other people call him Sergey, but anyway,
It's technically pronounced Surge.
Yeah, well, technically.
Mm.
But anyway, Serge is a friend of ours. He's from Belgium.
Oh, okay.
And he has been dealing with a lot of YouTube channels over the years, helping them with live installations, channel advice, a whole plethora.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, a number of years ago,
he helped us install probably, Brian, what you would call the closest thing to building your own Linux system from scratch, just not entirely.
Oh,
not
nice.
not entirely. The operating system that pretty much forces you to build it from scratch is literally called Linux from scratch.
Yeah, it comes with no program handling, no nothing, Brian. It's pretty much, you build it the way you want to. That's it. Except for the base system. The base system is the only thing that is pretty much walks you through it. Everything up to that, after that, is up to you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Now this is pretty well automated, except you have to add your own username and the packages you want after that. And pretty much, there's no automatic tracking of dependencies, nothing.
Oh, okay.
But however, with Slackware, you can add that, but pretty much it's on the user at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, that's what Ricky's going to walk me through in July.
Oh, that's cool.
Basically, I've installed it a few times since then. I know how the whole process works a lot better than I used to.
Whereas I still don't.
Well, that's why I'm going to be writing some things down.
Yes, Ricky.
But also, our buddy Serge, a few years ago, he was the one that helped me buy this MacBook that I'm using right now because a number of years ago, one of my older computers broke down.
Right. Okay.
And I had no way to get funds in order to get a new one.
Yeah.
Well, out of the kindness of his heart, he supplied me with enough funds to get this MacBook.
Nice.
And I've had this MacBook for like three and a half years, I believe.
Right.
So, well, make it 4.5 years, I believe. This thing is almost 5 years old, but but in actuality, this is a mid 2012 MacBook Pro. This thing is almost a decade. This thing is over a decade old.
Oh dang!
But it works just fine.
Yeah.
Right back here is one. I kid you not. One of seven. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
One of 6 computers that I currently control in this room.
Wow.
Ricky he's a computer madman.
Well, the thing is, I need to have a whole bunch of machines lying around because I don't know when I'm going to need to test another distro or basically just torture Windows some more.
Right.
Yeah. And Ricky, I hate to shift things a little far, but I have something for you to see with Storm OS.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. You, my friend, are going to be impressed with me because look at this.
Well, what did you do? I mean, the last time I saw it, you had a combination of XFCE.
Yeah, I still have it, but look. Watch. It's Alt C. The cube is back, but how the frick do you? I'm trying to figure out.
You almost had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this was an AUR package that I had to enable, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out because I added more workspaces. But let me see. Okay. Oh, I don't have it down here.
You don't have it?
No, I have the effect. It's just I'm trying to figure out how to enable it.
Oh, because I'm guessing it's turned off?
No, it's on. It's just the way the guy set it up is so weird.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, Ricky, I had another question.
Yes.
How did you get your cards in the Edo Pro to be like the anime like that?
I was kind of wondering that myself. Or at least dub version.
Okay.
Yeah, like you know how you have it right now.
Basically, how I got my cards like that is my buddy Austin, along with a few others, we do a Minecraft role play of Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay. It's just for fun. We don't record or anything, and it's completely exclusive to our little group. Essentially, Austin gave me a while back a folder that had a lot of custom templates for me to apply into the Edo Pro Pictures folder.
Oh, okay.
And the pictures that you all saw at the last Edo Pro Joint, those were all the custom templates.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
So, from my understanding, is those can't be shared, can they?
I don't think they can, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
But if you Google, but if you do a little Google search, though, you can find similar Edo Pro templates that you can use. You just got to look for Google. Other people make these.
Like that. Yeah.
Anywho, the 3 minutes has officially expired. But before we get to the Ubuntu Unity discussion, we're going to do a little show and tell here.
Show and tell?
How this is going to work is for about, because I don't want the live stream to go on forever until midnight. I'll say about 5 minutes. How's that?
That'll work.
Okay, so for about 5 minutes, each one of us can tell the virtual audience I hear, like, about a certain fact of our lives, a certain
Yeah.
trait that we have when it comes to dealing with technology, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon,
All
video
the
games,
above.
all of the above. So I think to first kick us off here is going to be you, Brian.
Ah,
So,
slag! I was afraid of that.
so your 5 minutes starts right now.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, when I was younger, I had a stroke when I was 18 months old due to a blood clot in my brain. No one knows what caused the strokes, not even the doctors. So, because of that, it takes me time to gather my thoughts when I talk to people. And also, due to that, I wasn't into that many types of shows and that. So, I'm mostly into like shows when I was younger. So, anime and lots of cartoons. So basically, one of the shows that my mom and I got into was basically the original Yu-Gi-Oh. We would watch it together. She'd even ask questions about the cast and the ask questions about the cast, the plot of each season, and things like that. So, and when she passed away, her favorite card was the Dark Magician Girl. So to keep, I guess you could say, to keep her memory close to me, I have that all copies of that card in one sleeve, and I basically keep that card in my deck. So that's why I try to use that my spellcaster deck a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice, Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've
Yeah, and
developed.
we've and there's a few lines that whenever we when we got to it, my mom always cracked up. Like for example, the during the Wicked Dragons arc when the Rex and Joey had the rematch, and he's like, and brought out Gearfree the Sword Master. Not we will Rex was on. You wasted the whole story. Bring him out. He's useless. We order. Boom. Oh, that on the other hand might help you.
That's funny.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Ricky.
Yeah, I don't remember the number of the episode, but it was from a certain episode, right?
Wrong Side of the Track, Part 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what episode number it was, but yeah. So
Well, that's
that
good.
card means a lot to me, and that's why I would never sell, no matter what I'm offered.
Mm-hmm. If anything, Brian, it's gonna go with you when you pass on.
Oh, there's no argument here. But yeah, also due to my stroke, whenever I'm playing a video game, in order for the dialogue to fully process, I need to. Well, wait, hold on. Let me phrase that. In order for scenes that aren't voiced, for example, the Trails of Cold Steel series, I need to read them out loud so I understand what's going on.
Okay, so that explains the last set of Pro Duel Nights while you were talking to the TV. Okay.
And also, my grandmother on my mom's side, she played video games as well. And whenever this is something that Nanny would do, whenever we would be in a dungeon or whatever, we would be, okay, I need to go this way, need to go up these stairs. Am I going the right way? No, I'm not. Okay, let's turn around.
Yeah.
And whenever we were in a battle, we would say, okay, this person used this move. Okay, you heal and stuff like that. So basically, I'm doing that just so because I'm doing it just sort of out of habit from when I would be playing games with Nanny, who is no longer with us.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so just for future reference, if whenever I'm playing an RPG. That's the reason.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah, that's okay. Thanks for letting us know about that.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Is there anything else you want to say, Brian, or you want to leave it at that?
Actually, speaking of Trails of Cold Steel 3, let me just tell you what happened. Reen went sort of into his berserk stage, and everyone was trying to calm him down, and it went as soon as everyone went to try to calm down, it went to the credits, and I didn't get to find out why if they found or why Crow is finally back. So after the credits, I got to see the three most hated words ever.
What?
To be continued.
Oh,
wow.
That sucks, man.
So I won't get to find out how Reen gets to how they calm him down or why Crow is back until Trails of Cold Steel 4, which I have.
Okay.
Oh,
Have you played the fourth entry yet?
No. I play them in chronological order. So after I beat 1, I play 2. After I beat 2, I play 3, and so forth.
So essentially, you do it section by section.
In a way, yes. Because games like that, so like for example, and Nanny even did this as well with the Final Fantasies and the Breath of Fire games. We played them in chronological order.
Okay. All right. Well, I say, if there's nothing else you need to say, Brian, I say, Benny boy.
Yes.
You're up.
Yep.
All right. Well, something that significant happened to me was, I was always, I guess, the outcast in my school. I was always the one getting bullied and crap like that. And
oh my.
It was for always one reason or another reason. It was just, there was no real specific reason behind it ever. People just saw that, oh, hey, he's this, that, and this, and that. And I just, I was always the one who got the most out of it. I could never figure out why people wanted to do it. And I was always the one getting pissed off and things were always going wrong. And I just, and I was always the one having the hardest time learning anything, and always needing help with stuff, and people just like to take advantage of me, and I just finally got sick of it and started learning at home. So yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure learning at home helped you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why in college I finally just threw up my hands and said, okay, I'm going to take online classes. That way I don't have to worry about that crap anymore. But unfortunately, it followed me into a lot of online games, and it's just been a constant struggle that I've had to deal with ever since.
Well, I pretty much know how you feel in terms of that, because the thing is, being bullied is not a fun thing. It's a very hard thing to go through, and I know exactly how you feel, Ben. 100%.
As do I.
Yeah, I mean, I try and explain, that I've got this, and this problem, and people just, with trying to do things for myself sometimes, and people just don't seem to attend to that very well.
Well, all I gotta say is we've all had our struggles. We've all had our struggles in life, and we've come out of it better people. I mean,
yes, of course. Like, for example, when you've helped me with Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes, I know.
I know from when we first met, you told me you played when it came out, but I believe you didn't. You played in the DM era, but I'm just taking a hunch here that you didn't play GX, 5D, Zexal, Arc.
No, I always stuck true to the OG series, but
Oh,
thing was, I had the cards from back then. I
yeah.
just never really got a chance to learn them, to be honest.
Well, it's a good thing that when I do Edo Pro Duel Nights, it's a good thing that I do Go format. In fact, speaking of that, I'm planning to eventually, at some point, introduce Edison format into Edo Pro Duel Night.
What the heck is that?
Well,
It's a
you'll
diff-
find out.
It's a different format.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain,
Yeah.
but in a nutshell, it takes place in the 5Ds era. It's a very synchro heavy format.
Mhm.
It's all centered around like 15 or 16 different decks, essentially. And
Taking
you
a
just
step out of Alex's book, I take it.
what?
I said, taking a step out of Alex's book, I take it.
Basically, yes.
I thought so.
Oh God.
But basically, it's a good format, and I'll be introducing that in the near future.
Okay.
But no, but no. Thank you for sharing that with us,
Same.
Ken. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and I finally got my cube effect working. I had to press the Alt C command, and
Okay.
yeah, I just had to like really press down hard on the mouse in order for it to work. So yeah, in the near future, I don't know when, but in the next release of StormOS, we will have Katie's Kwin effects on XFC.
Speaking of Kwin, I'm just going off topic for just a few seconds, but what is the status of Kwin
Katie 6.
of KD6?
Well, it's in testing right now, and my buddy Josh Tenley J has said that it's probably going to be at least a few more months before we see it come mainstream.
Okay,
And
so
also, because of that, Xorg is probably going to be long deprecated from that, and it'll be going towards Wayland in the near future.
in terms of Wayland's development, how is that going? Like, has it gotten better?
It's gotten a lot better for Intel and AMD GPU setups. However, NVIDIA, still a heck of a lot of work.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised. I mean, NVIDIA is a
Because
much
as Linus
NVIDIA.
Torvalds once said, Ricky, NVIDIA, F you. And I'm sorry, that still holds true in the Linux world.
Well, the thing is, NVIDIA is a very difficult graphics card to work for in terms of Linux because, unfortunately, that's just how it is.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, so yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's Dual Night event. And
oh, you I got things planned for tomorrow night. I mean,
right. And I am looking forward to hopefully testing out with you that Seeker deck that you helped me with.
Yeah,
Ooh, nice.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Brian,
did.
you are in for a treat, my friend, because I plan to mop the floor with that deck tomorrow.
Well,
Can't wait.
Well, depends on what I use against you, because I'm not telling you what your opponent is.
All right. I got to run downstairs and get my food. Then we'll get into the next
only, actually,
yeah.
I'll give you one hint of who your opponent is.
Yeah.
Let's just say, Ben, it's going to get a little bit haunted tomorrow night.
Oh, no.
And also, second hint, let's just say a certain character from GX is bringing her friends.
Oh, no.
Okay, I know exactly who you mean.
The third hint, and I'm just going to tell you anyway because you're going to know what it is. Alice's Dull Part deck.
Oh.
Alexis.
No,
No.
not Alexis. Her name is Alice. Essentially, for those who don't know, she's basically a talking doll that has an archetype called Dull Part.
Yes.
And the whole concept of Dull Part is you put all your normal monsters in grave, get them out on the field, Then you activate the spell card Marionette Burial, tribute all of them to summon your big boss monster, Doll Chimera. Now, Doll Chimera gains either 300 or 400 for each doll part. I can't remember. I know it's one of the other.
Something like that, yeah.
But anywho, your objective of the deck is to make Chimera as big as possible. It's basically protect the castle.
Oh God!
And
so it's kind of like a beat up as hell version of Uriah.
Wait. Hold on. You two were talking at the same time. What did you say, Brian?
I said, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, on Dylan's top 5 or top 10 most scariest one-off characters,
yeah,
she was number 2 or number 1, I think.
She was one or the other. I remember that.
Or maybe an honorable mention.
But the thing is though, that's the deck you'll be facing tomorrow night. It's gonna take me a good amount of time to get it ready because I gotta go through her deck list and get it ready card for card. Plus, I'm gonna have some additional stuff in there to make the deck a little bit more easier to run and for it to be more consistent.
I'm screwed.
Well, not exactly.
You're not wrong.
Well, her deck is good, but at the same time, it's a glass cannon. It can backfire on me very easily. It's happened once before when I ran it.
So I have my work cut out for me with my secret deck against you.
Well, not exactly. I mean, compared to my Dark Synchro deck, the doll... Hold on a minute. My phone alarm's going off.
Okay. So, Brian, he's pretty much not pulling any punches.
Okay. These
this
are the
one deck that I've been kind of nervous about playing against.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Brian?
I said there's doll part pink, blue, red, and gold. We're only missing doll part green and yellow. Doll part Zeo.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, it's a Power Ranger reference. If you didn't.
Yeah. So we're pretty much in for a kicker tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, like I said, compared to my Dark Synchro deck, the doll parts are not necessarily as powerful. They're a glass cannon, protect the castle deck. If I make the wrong move, you can easily beat me. That's the
So pretty much my hope is that you make one F up and I can win.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So, but anywho, is there anything else you want to say for your show and tell, Ben, before we go?
Other than I have been testing out Ubuntu 23.04 Unity, and it's good, but I will say the desktop layout looks a little odd.
It's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks better, but for me, I think the old way was a heck of a lot smoother and nicer.
Well, here's the thing. Through the Ubuntu Advantage program, you can pretty much go through them and get further support for either 16.04, 18.04, because they're both supported for another few years.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, and that's free for 3 machines, I believe.
I believe it's free machines for one of those little activation codes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm honest to God thinking of doing that on one or two of my machines because I gotta tell you, no offense to Rudra and his buddies, but I have to say, the new version of Unity, it's just really weird looking.
Well, I think it looks okay to me. It looks still like what it used to look like in 16.04. It's just the biggest opinion I have on Ubuntu specifically is them pretty much completely getting rid of flat pack because I love flat pack.
I would rather use a flat pack than a snap. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I've used a snap package here and there, and I just like flat pack better.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get my food.
Okay, no problem. Oh, boy. Well, all I gotta say is Ben's got his work cut out for him tomorrow night. I gotta pretty much do my research, do my due.
No, you got to do your research.
I gotta stop doing that.
You do.
Oh my lord.
Oh god, Ben would have loved that.
Oh my lord. But no,
you do though. You do. You do have to look up her deck.
Yeah, I gotta look up the deck profile. I gotta see how I can make the thing good because, like I said, unlike my Dark Synchro deck, it's not as powerful. So I got my work cut out for me.
You do, and as Jaden, he was gonna have nightmares that night, and Dylan, he was like, he wasn't gonna risk having that in his bed and not put Alice on his list.
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
Exactly. All right. Okay, so if you're finished with your show and tell, Ben,
yeah,
I'm going to be doing mine now.
Okay.
So essentially, as a few of you know, I mean, I've been into technology ever since I was younger. In fact, I've actually been into technology since I was about 3 years old. Essentially, and this is a true story, by the way. When I was in, like, I don't remember if it was pre-K, kindergarten, one or the other, but essentially when I was 3 years old, basically the teacher left me at a computer, and just letting you know what the computer was. It was the very first Macintosh, the granddaddy of all the Macintoshes. Yeah. Essentially, she left me just sitting there, and I was just a kid back then. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a care in the world. She came back a few minutes later, and the computer was completely fixed.
You fixed the original Mac.
At 3 years old, and I don't even remember how I did it.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
The original Mac.
The original Macintosh, the OG one from the 80s. That's the one that I was sitting in front of.
Oh my
Damn.
But also around that time, and you, Brian, amongst others, know this, or some of you are about to know this. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 3 years old.
Damn.
Not just autism, but a plethora of other mental disabilities. I have a long list of stuff.
As do I.
Essentially, how I got most of these disabilities to begin with is essentially I had brain damage at birth. So essentially, that damage is what caused the disabilities to begin with. But I mean, not without going into too much information that's really sensitive. I've had a lot of trials and a lot of errors in my life, but all of that has made me the person you all see me today. But back to the technology part. I remember also when I was a little kid, my mother and father had this gateway computer, and the one thing I would always like to do is I would always like to go into the computer room, open up the floppy disk tray, and get out the floppy disk of Tetris. I love Tetris. I would always put that sucker into the floppy disk tray, and I would play the game for a long time. Now, here's something else interesting about my life. My pediatrician that I had when I was a little kid, he recommended to my parents that to help with my autism and motor skills and stuff, they recommended them to get a video game console. Well, lo and behold, Christmas time, I got myself an NES. And along with the NES. Now, remember what it came with. It was the console, the blaster, Super Mario Brothers plus Duck Hunt, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh.
All 3 of them.
Super Mario, one of the better games from way back in the day.
You're not wrong.
Then about a few years later, I got an SNES, which I played that SNES religiously up until about 2005, when basically I sold it back then. I also had an N64 when I was a little kid too. I also had an original Game Boy, later on a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance. Around the early 2000s is when I got into using Sony's products, specifically PS2. I had a PS2 at one point, and it was a good console for what it was.
Yeah.
My life completely changed when the PS3 came out because I used to have the original 60 gig model, the one that was fully backwards compatible with PS3, 2, and 1 games, all discs. Unfortunately, when I was moving to my new place, I didn't package it correctly as I should, and the Blu-ray drive ended up breaking to where I couldn't use the console's Blu-ray drive.
God.
Oh shoot.
Oh, slag.
So essentially, I could only use the PSN store going forward. Luckily, when the PS3 Slim came out, that remedied the situation, and I had a working Blu-ray drive. It's just PSN store going forward. And the Slim model, I couldn't. Unfortunately, the Slim model can't play PS1 or PS2. Only the 60 gig model could.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find 60 gig models on eBay, but expect to pay a pretty penny for those.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
In my closet here, I also have a GameCube. Take good care of it. I also have an Atari 7800.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I expected you to. I didn't say anything. I just want to see your reaction.
I also have a Nintendo Wii over there. I also have a PSP and a PS Vita.
Ooh, nice.
Wow.
And all the way on the other side of the room is a Nintendo Switch Lite. I don't. The light one, the light Switch model. My friend got it for me as a gift many years ago. I was aiming to go for the big model, but didn't have enough funds to get it. So, I like video games. I like video game consoles. It was one of the things to help me as a child develop my motor skills and autism, which I'm thankful for that. But also video gaming for up to 2008 is what inspired me to make my YouTube channel in 2008. Because what most of you all don't know about my channel is that at one point in time it was a Let's Play channel,
as was mine.
As was Brian's, but we'll talk about that in a future video.
Exactly right.
Actually, Ricky, just want to interject real quick. My YouTube started as a Mac OS channel, but it grew into gaming and music and other things.
Oh, I know your channel started out as a Mac OS channel. In fact, I looked at some of your first videos, and they weren't too bad.
Yeah, I actually filmed that Hackintosh video on mine on an old school iPod Touch, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Oh, SBC 244. Oh, hey DJ, how you doing, bud? Been a while.
My God.
Hey, buddy. Hope you're enjoying the show. Anywho, a little bit more about my show and tell. When it comes to the gaming aspect of my life, I'm a pretty good gamer. I mean, I mean, it doesn't matter what game is put in front of me. I mean, I can relatively figure it out. My favorite game of all time that I keep going back to over and over again is Resident Evil 4.
Ooh, nice.
It's my favorite game, one of my favorite third-person shooters. Lots of good replay value, very good story and everything. Another one of my favorite games is the original Final Fantasy. Not the NES version, but the PS1 version specifically. Uh-huh.
Gotta love that victory theme.
Exactly. I mean, the reason why I like the PS1 version, despite all the remakes it's gotten, including the newest one on the PS5, is because the graphics back then were really good, really nice. When it comes to Nintendo, though, there's just too many games to count with Nintendo.
You're not wrong.
Way too many. 1998 is when it all changed for me when I got into Pokemon. Pokemon Red was my first game. I did play a little bit of Blue, but not so much. But Red, Yellow, Gold, and Crystal were the original ones I owned. I owned Ruby at one point. I own a
Ruby and not Sapphire.
Right. You're funny.
I knew that was coming too.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
I did own Sapphire. I do have a Sapphire cartridge, but it no longer works because it's aged. It hasn't aged well over the years. I've never played Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I want to at some point. I've never played Gen 5. I've never played X or Y, but I have played Omega and Alpha Sapphire, which still counts as Gen 6 in my opinion. I have gone through the Sun and Moon series. I have gone through Galar. And now I'm going through the latest region, which I've beaten I've beaten the main game. I'm just going for the post game right now.
Yeah, just wait until the DLC comes out, buddy.
Yeah, between both of the DLC legendaries, my eye is on that turtle. The turtle's the one I'm on because there's rumors speculating that he's going to have a lot to do with the origins, with a lot of origins surrounding the evolution of Pokemon.
Well, also there's speculation about it being with the origin of terrestrialization as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Considering all the types are on its shell.
True. Every single type is on it.
Yeah.
And speaking of with Pokemon, with me, when I first started, I didn't know about version exclusives. So when I started Red and I saw that it was the same, I asked Mom to take me back to Toys R Us to return Red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, aside from Pokemon, one more thing I want to add in here, and then we can get to the Ubuntu Unity Open Chat, because my show and tell is almost over.
Right.
One other game I want to touch on that was one of my favorites and still is today, Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah.
I will say, when I was a little kid, the part of that game that made me want to throw my controller into my TV so many times was the factory level where I had to face that Jack in the Box enemy. That guy drove me so much insane.
Do you mean he drove you bananas? Damn it, I did it again. Would you say that game was just prime?
Oh my Lord, Brian.
Brian, you are Mr. Funny today.
Hey,
Well,
it's fault for setting me up.
I know.
Ricky is so crazy.
But no, that was the hardest level on that game. Now, as for another game, Banjo-Kazooie, we go from the hardest level of one game to one of my favorite levels.
Yeah.
Mad Monster Mansion. That is one of my favorite levels, and it has the most epic soundtrack you'll ever hear. I mean, it's a soundtrack that should be played on Halloween.
Oh, shoot.
But anyway, in a nutshell, that's pretty much my show and tell. But anywho, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. Let me just pull up Google, and I will pull up the information on Ubuntu Unity.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Now, Ricky, before we get into that, don't you think we should go into a bit of the history of the conversion from GNOME to Unity, don't you think?
That would be a good idea. Let me actually reroute my search to Wikipedia's article on Ubuntu, because we need to just. I might as well just do I might as well do a history of Ubuntu, essentially.
Right, because I mean, because Unity was not their first desktop environment.
No, it was not. I mean,
because if we're going to talk about Unity, we should talk about the GNOME 2 era first.
Exactly. We should pretty much talk about the entire Ubuntu lineage, essentially.
Right, because if we're going to talk about Unity, we got to talk about the old days too.
Yeah. All right. Let me get my get the whole thing shared up here, if I can find it. There it is. Okay, so here's the information on Ubuntu. Yeah. So current version is 23.04 Lunar Lobster. That's the current version that just came out. But here's everything you need to know about Ubuntu. It's pretty much one of the big OS families. Yeah. Alongside the Slackware, Arch, Debian families. There are some families for the RPM distros like Fedora, OpenSUSE, Gecko, and Open Mandriva. The list goes on and on, but we're here to talk about Ubuntu. So here is what you need to know. It was developed by Canonical. That's the big company that owns Ubuntu. It is based off of Debian, but it's basically a rework of Debian in a sense. So it's pretty much it's free and open source, or FOSS as it's initialized. The first version of Ubuntu, 4.10 Warty Warthog, was released 18 years ago on October 20th, 2004. There's a whole bunch of websites, links, and all that. And also, it's available in many different languages. And also, it supports many different package managers, including the GNOME Software Center, DPKG, apt, and Snap.
Let's start New Game Plus.
And also, here's all the architectures that it supports, including RISC-V, PowerPC, ARM, etc. But anyway, here's the background information about Ubuntu here. We're going to start from the beginning here. Yeah. So let's go. So let's see. Is there any? So where's the historical information on this sucker? Oh, here we go. I found it. So right here. Ubuntu is a Linux distribution based on Debian and composed mostly of free and open source software. Ubuntu is officially released in 3 versions: desktop, server, and core, for Internet of Things devices, or IoT, in case you didn't know, and robots. All of the editions can run on a computer.
Base Alliance, Naval Fortress.
And robots. All the editions can run on a computer alone or in a virtual machine environment. Ubuntu is the most popular, is not the most popular, it's a popular operating system for cloud computing with support for OpenStack. Ubuntu's default desktop changed back from in-house Unity to GNOME after nearly 6.5 years in 2017 upon the release of Ubuntu 17.10. Ubuntu is released every 6 months with long-term support releases every 2 years. As of April 2023, the most recent release is 23.04, and the current long-term support is 22.04. Ubuntu is developed by British company Canonical and a community of other developers under a Metrocreatic governance model. Canonical provides security updates and supports for each Ubuntu release, starting from the release date and until the release reaches its designated end-of-life date. Canonical generates revenue through the sale of premium release services related to Ubuntu and donations from those who download the software. Ubuntu is named after the Ngani philosophy of Ubuntu, which Canonical indicates means humanity to others with a connection of I am what I'm because of who we all are. Ubuntu, and this right here, folks, it pretty much explains at the top. It's based on Debian stuff. So we're going to go down a little bit. Okay. So current long-term support releases are supported for 5 years and are released every 2 years since the release of Ubuntu 6.06. Every fourth release receives long-term support. Long-term support includes updates for new hardware, security patches, and updates to the Ubuntu stack cloud computing infrastructure. The first LTS releases were supported for 3 years on the desktop and 5 years on the server. Since Ubuntu 12.04 LTS, desktop support for LTS releases was increased to 5 years as well. LTS releases get regular point releases with support for new hardware and integration of all the updates published in that series to this date.
Hold on, Ricky. Hold on. Steve is saying, who's got the people talking in the background? I was explaining it's Brian. And I hate to say it, but I think it's making him hard to hear you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he's got his TV on in the background. So
I just turned down a few notches.
Yeah, please do, because we can hear it over Ricky's content.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, just crank it down a little bit, bud.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, go ahead, Ricky.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Where was I? Oh, yes. Here we go. Gotta clear my throat. Okay, so Ubuntu packages are based on packages from Debian's unstable branch, which are synchronized every 6 months. Both distributions use Debian's deb package format and package management tools, apt and Ubuntu software. Ubuntu and Debian and Ubuntu packages are not necessarily binary compatible with each other. However, the packages may need to be rebuilt from source to be used in Ubuntu. Many Ubuntu developers are also maintainers of key packages within Debian. Ubuntu cooperates with Debian by pushing changes back to Debian. Although there has been criticism that this does not happen often, though. Ian Murdoch, the founder of Debian, had expressed concern about Ubuntu packages potentially diverging too far from Debian to remain compatible. Before release, packages are imported from Debian unstable continuously and merged with Ubuntu specific modifications 1 month before release. Imports are frozen and packagers then work to ensure that the frozen features interpret well together. Ubuntu is currently funded by Canonical. On July 8th, 2005, Mark Shuttleworth of Canonical announced the creation of the Ubuntu Foundation and provided initial funding of $10 million. The purpose of the foundation is to ensure the support and development for all future versions of Ubuntu. Mark Shuttleworth describes the foundation goal as to ensure the continuity of the Ubuntu project. On March 12, 2009, Ubuntu announced developer support for third-party cloud management platforms, such as those used at Amazon EC2. 32-bit x86 processors were supported up to 18.04. It was decided to support legacy software, i.e. select 32-bit i386 packages for 19.10 and 20.04 LTS.
Yeah.
So right here's pretty much a whole bunch of the features. Basically, they're talking about like Firefox, Thunderbird, Transmission, LibreOffice, Sudoku, Minds, all pretty much everything you all know from Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Here's some security information as well, talking about sudo, firewall, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But here's the part that I want to touch on, if I can find it. That's the transition from GNOME to Unity the first time around, if I can find a section of that.
Yeah, I don't see it. Well, should be there somewhere.
Well, actually, I do see some I should cover, and that's the other flavors.
Yes.
Okay, so variants. Here we go. Ubuntu Desktop, formerly named as Ubuntu Desktop Edition and simply called Ubuntu, is the variant officially recommended for most users. It is designed for PC and laptop PCs and officially supported by Canonical. A number of variants are distinguished simply by each featuring a different desktop environment, or in the case of Ubuntu Server, no desktop, LXQT, and XFCE, are often recommended for use with older PCs that may have less memory and processing power available.
Right.
So as you all can see here, these are all the flavors for Ubuntu. You have normal Ubuntu, but then you have the recently revived Ubuntu, which is Ubuntu for the classroom and for schools. You have Kubuntu, which features the KDE desktop environment. You have Lubuntu featuring LXQT. You have pretty much Ubuntu Core for Internet of Things devices. You have Ubuntu Budgie featuring the Budgie desktop environment made famously by the developer of Budgie and the head of the Solus project, who I hope revives their distro at some point.
Yeah.
There's also the newest kid on the block, Ubuntu Cinnamon, which takes Linux Mint's Cinnamon desktop environment and makes it for Ubuntu. You also got Ubuntu Kylin, aimed at the Chinese market. And you also got Total OS Today's favorite, Ubuntu Mate. And you also got the Ubuntu Server Edition.
And that runs primarily on servers.
Exactly. And then down here, you got Ubuntu Studio, which basically runs a variant of Plasma. Then you got Ubuntu Unity, which basically they're the new people in the block maintaining Unity 7 now. And you also got Xubuntu with the XFCE desktop environment.
Right.
So with that being said, let's get to Unity itself.
Right.
Okay, the good old Unity desktop environment is a graphical shell for the GNOME desktop environment originally developed by Canonical for its Ubuntu operating system. It debuted in 2010 in the netbook edition of Ubuntu 10.10. Since 2017, its development was taken over by the Unity 7 maintainers, Unity 7, and uparts, Lamari, formerly known as Unity 8. Unity 7 is the default desktop environment for an Ubuntu Unity, an official flavor of Ubuntu since 2022. Ubuntu Unity and Unity 7 maintainers have started working on the successor of Unity 7, Unity X,
Right.
which was part of the Ayatana project, an initiative with the stated intention of improving the user experience within Ubuntu. It was initially designed to be more efficient use of space given the limited screen size of netbooks, including, for example, a visual application switcher called the launcher and a space-saving horizontal multi-purpose top menu bar. Unlike GNOME, KDE, XV, or LXDE, Unity is not a collection of applications. It is designed to use existing programs.
Yes.
So here's all the features right here of Ubuntu Unity. You got your top menu bar, your launcher, your quick list, your dash, your heads-up display, and your indicators.
Yep.
Now the dash. Now here's what the dash looks like, people. This is what the dash looks like. I'll bring up a photo of it.
Now, Ricky, let me just say that is one of the better, in my opinion, desktop environments I've ever seen in my life.
Well, it's a beautiful desktop environment too. Ubuntu
Right.
Unity.
And that dash has been one of the better parts of the desktop, in my opinion.
Exactly.
But in 23.04, I think they totally screwed it up. That's just me. All right. So continuing on.
Okay, so basically, this explains here all the information about the dash search utility. Basically, without reading this, just to give you guys a bite-sized tidbit of it, you can basically search for your programs, and also basically search for other things too.
Right.
So that's basically what the dash does in a nutshell.
Now, it also had for a short time Amazon search results.
But that was later removed.
Yeah, thankfully, because a lot of people complained about it.
Yeah, and then here's some variants of Unity right here. You got Unity for Ubuntu Touch, Unity for Ubuntu TV, Unity 2D. So you got some variants here. You also have, and also there's availability, as Unity and supporting Ayatana projects are developed primarily for Ubuntu, and Ubuntu was the first to offer new versions. Outside of Ubuntu, other Linux distributions have tried to pick up Ayatana with varying success. The Ayatana components require modification of other applications, which increases the proximity for adoption by others. First up, Arch Linux offers many Ayatana components, including Unity and Unity 2D, via an unofficial repository or through the AUR. For Fedora, it says right here, Fedora does not offer Unity in its default repositories because Unity requires unsupported patches to GTK. However, Unity 6 has been ported to Fedora 17 and can be installed through a branch in the OpenSUSE repositories where the patches are applied. Newer Fedora and Unity versions are not supported. Frugalware had adopted Ayatama, including Unity and Unity 2D, as part of their development branch for an upcoming Frugalware release, but the project is no longer maintained. OpenSUSE offers many Ayatama components for GNOME, after the packager abandoned the project because of problems with the then Linux and for the with the then current version of Compass, new developers picked up the task and provide packages for OpenSUSE 12.2, along with versions for Arch Linux and Fedora 17. Newer OpenSUSE and Unity versions are not supported. As for Manjaro, it says here Manjaro has a Unity edition of its distribution. And as for Ubuntu Unity, it's the current flavor that primarily has Unity 7. So here is pretty much the last part of this article, which I finally found this. So right here about this pretty much explains a lot about Unity's development. It says right here, Unity was originally unveiled on May 10th, 2010 during Ubuntu founder Mark Shuttleworth's keynote at the Ubuntu Developer Summit in Brussels. It was announced as the new interface of both Ubuntu Netbook Edition and a then-planned OEM platform called Ubuntu Lite. The new interface was also made available for download during the keynote, and visitors of the summit could try it out on a Dell Mini 10V. Ubuntu originally used the full GNOME desktop environment. Shuttleworth cited philosophical differences with the GNOME team over the user experience to explain why Ubuntu would use Unity as the default interface instead of GNOME Shell, beginning in April 2011 with Ubuntu 11.04. In November 2010, Ubuntu community manager Jono Bacon explained that Ubuntu would continue to ship the GNOME stack, GNOME applications, and optimize Ubuntu for GNOME. The only difference, he wrote, would be that Unity is the different shell for GNOME. Canonical announced it had engineered Unity for desktop computers as well, and would make Unity the default shell for Ubuntu in version 11.04. GNOME Shell was not included in Ubuntu 11.04 because work on it was not completed at the time. 11.04 was frozen, but was available from a PPA and was available in 11.10 and later releases through the official repositories. In November 2010, Mark Shuttleworth announced the intention to eventually run Unity on Wayland instead of the current used X Windows system, although his plan has since been dropped, replacing Wayland with Meteor for Unity 8. In December 2010, some users requested that the Unity launcher or dock be movable from left to other sides of the screen, but Mark Shuttleworth stated in reply, "I'm afraid that won't work with our broader design goals, so we won't implement that. We want the launcher always close to the Ubuntu button." However, with Ubuntu 11.10, the Ubuntu button was moved into the launcher, and a third-party plugin that moved Unity 3D's launcher to the bottom was available. An option to move the launcher to the bottom of the screen was officially implemented in 16.04, the best version of Ubuntu Ubuntu with Unity Desktop ever recorded.
Yeah.
And if you all want to read the rest of this, feel free to. I mean, there's a lot more information that I can go into, but there's just not enough time to go through all of it.
No.
But anywho, that pretty much concludes the Ubuntu Unity discussion of our stream. I will give this open chat about 10 more minutes, and we will then wrap this show up. I thank you all so much for watching. I thank you all so much for coming. if you want to see more live streams just like this one, then smash that like button, ring that notification bell, and subscribe for my channel for more content. Thank you. Also, if you want to check out my friends here, Brian and Ben, I will link their YouTubes in the description bar below. They offer good content as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So with that being said, people, we will now return to an open format.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So what did you think of my of what I was talking about, Brian?
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's it actually kind of inspired me, Ricky, to as funny as it's gonna sound, it actually inspired me to download a past version of Ubuntu and give it a look on one of my machines actually.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the only past version that's pretty much functional right now that you can go all the way back to is Ubuntu 14.04, which its support's going to be ending next year.
Oh.
1404, yeah.
But 16.04 that is supported until 2026.
Yeah, I'm
Ubuntu
probably going to go with 14.04 first.
Yeah, 14.04. If you want to look at something from the past, that'd be a good way to go. 16.04 that's supported for another few years. 18.04 that's supported until 2028.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do 14 because that's the version that I most desire to try out.
Yeah. Let me.
But yeah, I actually haven't looked at 1404 in a long time, so I'm probably gonna try that out for a bit and see how that goes.
One thing that did cross my mind just now, and you gave me an idea, Brian, just now.
What's that?
For the next open chat, I just thought of this.
Okay.
Since basically we got on a topic of video gaming.
Okay.
And since video games are technology per se,
right?
I was thinking for the next standard open chat, we have a discussion about one of my favorite types of games to play, and yours as well.
RPGs?
RPGs, baby.
Dude.
Oh, I got a good one for that, Ricky. I got a couple.
I got a whole slew of them.
So I think that's what we're gonna do is for the next open chat, we're gonna bring a different type of technology into the mix, and that's RPG video games.
Oh, I got a good couple I can cover.
Same.
Yeah. One of them being, I think Brian knows where I'm going with this. KOTOR, baby.
Doesn't ring a bell.
All right.
It's Star Wars.
Okay.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Never played it.
Dude, if you were around in the early 2000s, that game got the Game of the Year 2003 award.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I highly recommend checking it out. It is on PC and Xbox, and I highly recommend taking a look at it.
Yeah. I know exactly two particular games that Brian's going to talk about right off the bat. And he and I talk about these games all the time. And I know you've never heard of these, Ben. It's pretty much called the Legend of Legaia series. It's pretty much one of his favorite franchise. And
you knew very well I was going to talk about those two.
I know.
And I'm also going to talk about another one that Nanny really loved. And she would be upset if I didn't talk about it.
Which one did she like?
Crystallis.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that name before. I've heard it from somewhere. Is it? Yeah. What console was it on?
NES.
No wonder. No
Yeah.
wonder I heard of it. It was around when I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, but you know very well I'm going to be talking about the Lagayas.
Because of two certain pinheads that you and I are gonna bash their heads in when you
As soon as I see those on the PSN shop.
get it.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the
Now-
way, I'm going to put Twilight of the Spirits on hold only because I haven't touched that in I don't know how long, so I don't remember the layout. So I'm going to do something different.
Oh, you got something different in mind?
The Trail series.
I mean, you're already working on it.
Yeah, so I'm going through my second run of 3 because remember I go through each one twice.
Because I'm guessing on the first initial run, you tend to miss some things, and on your second run,
yes.
okay.
And Ricky, another game I'm going to be talking about that's very near and dear to me is Mass Effect.
I've honestly never played that game.
Dude, seriously, it is one of the most awesome RPG type shooters you'll ever see.
Interesting. I know one game I'm going to be talking about.
What?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses.
And
I
actually,
know
another
you tried
one
to run
maybe
me
would not
through that once, Ricky,
forgive me
and that
if
went
I
epically
didn't bring it
bomb.
up, even though it's not technical, even though it's debatable if it's an RPG or not.
Repeat that one more time, Brian.
We got it. I said, and I know another one, Nanny would not forgive me no matter how many times I said it.
Yeah.
If I didn't talk about it, because it's debatable if it's an RPG or not.
Yeah.
And that being Legend of Zelda.
The
True.
Zelda game.
True.
Oh boy.
Yeah, true.
That's the game series that got Nanny started on video games.
Excuse me 1 minute, gentlemen.
Yeah. Okay, Brian. Well, it's been good hanging out with you and Ricky, but I have to go because a friend's help waiting for me in Discord.
Okay, cool.
Later, guys.
Later. Ugh. Oh man, I'm so good to stretch my legs.
sure is.
Crying out loud. I don't know what all the fuss is about. Do they really need us to supervise unloading this junk?
Huh?
Ain't too bad going through a landing port.
Wow.
I'd heard about them, but seeing one up close is wild. Pretty big down there.
Ooh.
7 arms tall humanoid. Panzer Soldats or something, yeah?
No, I don't think so. This is the Ashen Lake, isn't it?
Get out of here. Yeah, you're exactly right. I wouldn't have expected a civilian to know that, much less someone from outside of Livonia.
Let's just say I'm a little interested in this like this.
A little? Your whole family goes nuts for this kind of stuff. How'd you know about them around here? You have just the tiniest flavor of an accent. I'm guessing you're from somewhere down south? Liberal, maybe?
Was it that easy to tell?
Bingo. So what? That makes you the Ashton Chevalier? Yeah, I'm surprised you knew that too. Are you back here? We'll be arriving in 5 minutes. Are you prepared? All set. I'm good to go whenever. Sorry for holding you up. We gotta get ready ourselves.
That's right. Thanks for talking with us.
Who are those two? They didn't appear to be your everyday civilians. They're from the girl. I guess they're getting off soon too. Something tells me I'll be seeing more of them at my new job. Oh, is that so? I admit, I have heard the rumors.
Now arrive at Leave Station. Leave Station. We will be stopped for 10 minutes to unload cargo.
It would appear that we're strange. The Ashen Knight is as beloved by the masses as ever. I tried to lay low this past year. I've turned down all the interview requests I've been bombarded with. It's little wonder then. For a young girl like yourself, such actions only serve to grant you an irresistible air of peace. The rumors of your role in the Northern War have, by this point, far outstripped the truth. My apologies. That was a regret. No, it's all right. It's just something I'll have to go with. Thank you, Patrick. For the last year, last 2 years, you've helped me out more times than I can count. Well, that was something. I have simply been performing my duty as a member of the glorious Class 1. Of course, I could spare some consideration for a hapless classmate with barely enough attendance to graduate. One who has unreasonable tasks thrust upon him on a near daily basis, yet somehow manages to triumph regardless. You said I was settled. You're serving as the deputy of the Marcus's family in Odyssey, right? I'm sure that's no walk in the park either, but I know you'll give it everything you've got. But of course, there's no way I can allow us to fall behind household Lorena. I recommend you do the same or whenever they comment you're unique in your workplace. And seeing as she is not so terribly far, do be sure to keep in touch with Lady Elise. Perhaps you might even put in a good word. Thanks again for all your help, Patrick. But that's an entirely different matter. Take care. Hope to see you again soon. Indeed. Oh yes, it nearly slipped my mind. About that pledge Class 7 did 1 year ago, I hope to see it come to fruition. Oh. Yeah, I hope so too. here I am. Never been to the southern west of Heimdall before. Almost reminds me of Trista. There are even window flowers blooming here. Trista and the academy. I wonder how everything who's still there is doing. Now Principal Van Dyke has actually returned to active duty. I never would have dreamed that would happen. That must be it there. I can tell it's brand new even from there. They send it to Almani and state.
Really?
Huh?
It really is you, Ring. Wow. The magazines don't do you justice. You look so much better now. Did you get taller too? I almost didn't recognize you.
Toa?
Oh, did you not recognize me either? I definitely haven't gotten taller, but I'm hoping I need more data on my opinion in time. Oh, or maybe think that my face filled out a little bit more.
Hold on.
Hmm?
It's just, well, we haven't seen each other in a while, and I could never get a hold of you. Then you just show up out of nowhere, dressed for work, and things how I'm about to start work. I never imagined we'd end up working at the same place.
Sorry, I didn't mean to surprise you. I thought you already knew.
A lot happened before graduation. And after it. I'm sure you've heard all about it.
Of course. Actually, one of the reasons I decided to come to you. It sure was nice to tell people you'd be joining me.
Same for me.
Well, anyway, congratulations on graduating. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who want to say that to you. But I figured I'd do it before anyone else.
Thanks, Noah. Wait, do you want something more professional, like Ms. Herschel now?
Don't worry about it. Toa is just fine. Remember what I said when we first met? There's no need for formalities with me. Miss Herschel is awfully touching now.
She hasn't changed a bit. So, Toa, you've been here a little while now, right? What's our new workplace like?
Well, I'm sure they told you a bunch of different things when you accepted your position, but I think this job is going to turn out to be a lot more difficult than you expected.
Well, I've been mentally preparing myself for the worst. Just hope I'm ready. Have you already met all of our colleagues?
Yeah, we've all met. You're the last to arrive. I'll introduce you to them. But please take that, okay?
I feel like the butterflies in my stomach have turned into stampeding myositis.
It's okay. I'm in the same boat as you. Let's work together as fellow graduates of doors and get through this.
Roger that. Oh, we're here. The color's different, but it's nice they kept the horn line pressed.
This is the main entrance to our new workplace. welcome to the newly established Sword Military Academy branch campus in New York.
I am Michael Irving, Railway Military. Branch campus though it may be, I will do my utmost to serve as chief instructor. Well, lucky me. I didn't expect to run into such a celeb at a place like this. Name's Randolph Orlando. Got transferred here from the Imperial Army Crossbow. I've been hearing your name all over lately. Pleasure to finally meet the man himself.
Green.
I'm Reed Schwartz. Just a rookie who recently graduated from Thorn's main campus. Nice to meet you. Major Irving, First Lieutenant Orlando. Likewise. It's an honor to be able to work with the famous Ashley Savoni. But keep in mind, we're not looking for heroics from Divine Knight here. We're only interested in your aptitude as an instructor. Understood. This is really new to me. I certainly didn't expect to find a rank officer like him working here. That's a mission. That look tells me you know a bit about my sordid backstory. Been peeking through the intelligence division's files, I think. Yes, I can't deny it. From what I could tell, it was a pretty complicated situation with Sentry there. Not as complicated as you, as I'm sure.
Anyway, all of us instructors are here. Major, Inspector Randolph, I'm looking forward to working with you.
Indeed. I'm curious to see what you'll bring here, especially after you turned down a position with us. I've been curious as to why.
So, you knew about that?
Oh, that's so? You must be better than you look for the RMP to roll up a red carpet. I heard you graduated early. What are you, 17 or something?
Um, I'm 21.
What? You're seriously only 3 years younger than me? Film instructors. That's about what I was expecting. Are we going to teach the entire curriculum among us, though? Correct. There aren't many students, but it will still require great work on our part. Training, lectures, all manner of miscellaneous tasks. We will, however, receive assistance from the special advisor and the principal. He's a special advisor? And what's our principal like? Well, let's just say that out of all the people in this great big empire, I never thought I'd meet someone quite as intense as our principal. Really?
Try not to be too shy, okay? You met her before, right?
Thank you for waiting.
Oh,
Speaking of the devil,
Thank you for coming.
whatever is that slack-jawed expression for? I believe we met during the Civil War. I'll have you all covered up in my Not that I give a fifth either way. No, of course not. It's good to see you again, Professor Smith. I've always appreciated having helped you with Valamar Tachi. As I said before, though my title is Special Advisor, I plan to focus only on my research. you endeavor to make yourself useful to me, Schwarzer? Or should I say, action awakening? He was one of Professor Ed's scientists, I think, right? Or maybe not. You sure he ain't some...
No, he's still here.
I'm starting to understand why I got hired here in the first place. I never imagined I would meet you.
It's been about half a year, hasn't it, Schwarzer? Well, since we've all gathered, allow me to say a few words about myself. During the Civil War, I was the general of the defeated Noble Alliance. I then oversaw the Northern War, resulting in the annexation of Fort Angelo. But you may think of me as Aurelia Lagoon, principal of Thor's Branch Campus.
All that, packing one wall. Guess it's not so crazy for you to be here after all, eh, Major? Principal of Gwen has just died. Shall we proceed?
Yes, let's begin. Herschel, gather up our fledglings and bring them to the ground.
Yes, ma'am. I'll see you
Alrighty, let's see what kind of guys and gals we got. Forther, see to it you aren't late. Wait, for what?
To our entrance ceremony, of course.
What? I had no idea.
That would be because we put the building fine without time. You'll even be needing your flight ticket. Exciting, no? More than what it means to be the Austin Chevalier.
Starting to seem like the words are difficult, exaggerations. Alright then, I should probably put these on. That woman. Isn't she the golden Ocean?
And that's Wagner from. Wow, he's super famous. Huh, it's him.
No.
Um,
Attention! I will have silence. We will now begin the entrance ceremony for Thor's Military Academy's branch campus. The opening speeches will be omitted. We will begin by announcing class assignments. First, Class A, Combat Tactics. The instructor is Randolph or Randolph. Right. Step forward when I call your name. Jessica, Wayne, Sydney, Maya, Ash, Freddie, Gustav, and Leonora. Yay. Next, Class 9, Military Finance. The instructor is Toa Herschel.
I'll call out names now. Sandy, Kyrie, Rita, Louise, Tatiana, Valerie, Music, Papa, and Scott. There are 9 of you in total.
Class 8 and Class 9. Combat Tactics and Military Finance. One slip over on. Silence! We will now have a word from our principal. Principal, if you would.
I'm Aurelia LeBlanc, principal of the branch campus. As some of you are new to LA, not all of you may be familiar with my name. That, however, is a little concerning to me. A few of you may have noticed all this, but I'll spell it out for the rest. This school is plastic.
Okay, people, I'm back.
Just you and me, dude.
Oh, Ben left.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, people. In about 2 minutes, 2 additional minutes, we'll be wrapping things up. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for coming. If you all enjoy these live streams just like we do, smash that like button, turn on that notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Once again, I'll put Ben and Brian's channels in the description bar below so you can see what content they have to offer. Also, once again, Edo Pro Duel Night is tomorrow night at 5 p.m.
I won't miss it.
The next standard open chat, which we'll be talking about RPG gaming mainly, that will be on May 31st at about 5 p.m. Other than that, that's pretty much the announcements that I have for now. Do you have any final words, Brian, before we sign off here?
Not that I can think of offhand.
All right. Well, before we go, just a quick reminder, Edo Pro Duel Night is tomorrow night. Sorry I'm running all so many times, but I just want you all to know.
Reminders never hurt.
Exactly. Also, May 31st is the RPG Gaming Open Chat. As for when the next Edo Pro Duel Night will be after this upcoming one, it will be in sometime in June. This will be the final Edo Pro Duel Night for May.
And I think I know another RPG series that I'll be bringing up. What do you? Trails of Cold Steel.
That I know is going to be the first one you're going to bring up.
Or maybe I'll do them in alphabetical order.
I think alphabetical order would be a better idea, though.
You know damn well I'm bringing up the Lagayas.
Oh, I know that'll be the best part, though.
I'm gonna have a field day with both that and the Trails of Cold Steel.
All right. So as for any other events going on this month, people, there is an outdoors live stream planned from my cell phone coming later this month, along with me and Ben tackling the Gen 2 Linux distribution on May 27th. But until then, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying, see you all later. Have a good rest of your evening. And we will see you at 5 p.m. tomorrow night for when me and Ben go at it. Dual-part deck versus the Seeker Exodia deck.
May Primus have mercy on Ben's soul. And anyone who are Transformers fans know exactly what I mean by that.
Have a good night, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow at Edo Pro Duel Night.
Later.